All right. Barton Lake RV, Block Party, Elite sponsors. Come on now. I'm going to have Kyle Berry with me. Stick around and we're going to hear some great stories about not only Kyle Berry, but my good friend Dave Berry. All right, another edition of the Wired to Differently Experience special show. I got a guest, Kyle Berry, with me with Barton Lake RV, and we're going to talk with him a little bit. I want to set this up, though, because Kyle Berry and I became friends last Saturday at the Memorial Day block party. We had the band Rock House there, but before the band came out, we had Lonsberry Garage give us this.
It was a t-shirt gun.
It wasn't a gun, bro.
It was a cannon.
It was a cannon.
Monster.
It was a monster. And this guy is a monster, a good monster. He's a great guy and everything. But he came up. I said, come on up there on the stage with me because I don't think I can lift this cannon. He's got like two cannons. Like his arms are massive. So he comes up there with me. And I didn't have enough shirts. And I said, well, you got any shirts? He's going, I got a bunch of shirts. So he brought a whole case of shirts. And Lonsberry couldn't be there, and so Kyle jumps up there, and I start shooting these shirts like I knew what I was doing. But here's this 30-year-old grown-up young man, like, I want to shoot the gun. I want to shoot the cannon. Right?
This has been on my bucket list for.
I know. You said bucket list.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
You whispered it, kind of whispered in my ear.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, sir. Any bucket list you want? You're gonna have. So I gave him the gun. And he like put it to PSI. What'd you shoot at first?
It's like 30 or 40 PSI.
We started small, didn't we?
Yeah. And then we kind of we biffed a few of them.
Yeah,
I did.
We were shooting. You did or didn't?
I did.
Yeah, but we were shooting at your dad.
Yeah.
What's your dad's name?
Dave.
Dave what?
Dave Berry.
He's a legend. I love Dave Berry. I love Barton Lake RV. I love the story of this family. And Kyle Berry is the son of Dave Berry, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do our normal market dominating position. We're going to learn about Barton Lake RV. But there's one person I wanted to give a shout out to before we get too carried away.
Okay. You're talking about
Cheryl. Yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl. And
she scares me. She scares me.
She definitely holds the household in order for sure. She
scares me in a good way. Whenever Cheryl comes around, I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely.
She is the mom.
Yeah, and she's definitely the glue in the dealership.
Is she a mama? Is she a mama bear? Is that what they call
them? She's more of the mom that you come to if you feel like you got nowhere else to go. So,
really, I can't imagine someone trying to pull something over on anybody with her over there.
There's not a lot you get away with.
No, I knew her. I think I knew her before Barton Lake RV. Anyway, Cheryl, it's a shout out to you. Thank you for helping us get this Barton Lake RV Elite sponsorship. It's no question that Barton Lake RV has been a leader in the community for a million years. I mean, it was the original Yogi Bear before they created the whole experience out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, the park was founded in 1965 by my grandparents with 7 dirt sites, nothing else to them.
I remember.
And then in 1996 is when Barton Lake RV opened its doors, and it was just a big steel building with 3 trailers sitting outside. And my dad had a dream, and he made the dream happen, and we've been there ever since.
He has leveraged. I have a great father as well, and I think the pressure to obviously carry on a legacy, which we're going to talk about with you a little bit, is almost greater than starting one, because when you have people before you that have done such a great job at creating a market, like you guys didn't you created it from dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And you created an industry and a market and a spot, and then your father continued it and then took it into the Barton Lake RV capacity. And I think you're one of the top RV dealers, certainly in the area or the industry. So what I want to do is kind of set this up with real quick is because you're like very knowledgeable. When, like it just comes out of you like you're almost a computer. Why don't you give me, no, you're very precise. Give me the story. Give me the story how you see it and your legacy. You are the son, the grandson of, what was your dad's name? Your
grandfather's name was Roger.
Roger Berry, that's right. And Andy Berry.
Yep, Andy's my dad's brother.
Andy, yeah, I know. Andy and I ran around together when we were kids.
Oh, good. That's I'm sure you have plenty of stories.
We have great stories. Andy is a very colorful person. Matter of fact, I first met him at basketball camp at Hoosier McCracken Hoosier basketball camp, and him and I were Hustle Award winners, and we won the award. And you know what the award was for Hustle Award winner at that basketball camp?
Was it a trophy?
No. Better.
It was a bag of donuts from Tom's Donuts.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would rather have that than the trophy.
I worked my ass off all week to win 12 donuts, and my dad signed a bag. You know. But Andy loved it. I think I gave the bag to Andy. I don't know. He scarfed them all down. All right, give us your story, man. You're a very impressive man.
So, the story goes all the way back to my dad had an idea of, if people are already bringing their RVs here, why don't we provide them with a service, with something that they could, go through it, enjoy and look at, and possibly even make a little bit of a profit off of. So he started Barton Lake RV by buying 3 or 4 aluminum sided trailers. And I can't tell you the exact time per se, but I can tell you, Todd, right after he bought them.
What year was this?
This was in 96.
96.
One of the biggest storms that ever came through the area came through. Hail the size of baseballs, and it dented the sides of these metal trailers. And, my dad is up at the dealership and he's thinking, what's the aftermath going to look like? And he's got these trailers that he just bought. They're all dented up. And
4 of them.
Right. And then he said, this guy walks up and he says, he's holding his roof vent lid in his hand. He goes, "Hey, this is on my camper and it broke." He's like, "Do you have one of these?" And my dad looked up on the shelf and grabbed one and gave it to him. And now we have a service shop. So,
wow.
It all went from, well, we got to fix them to sell them. So it became sales and service, all because of one freak accident. So
because of a hailstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
How drama becomes a solution, and a solution becomes some type of income or growth in our life.
Mm-hmm.
I think even in relationships and things of that nature, we get ourselves in trouble, and all of a sudden we find our way out of it, and we have a solution, and we have a process, and we have a product, and we're better for it. So that's interesting. And I would tell you that about the business I've done with Dave Berry and everybody down there at Barton Lake RV. I mean, they overserve you.
Yeah.
There's not a time I haven't went in there and asked your dad for help in something, and he didn't come out of the office, get off of the phone, or do more than I asked for. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. He has always been the first to sponsor something that we do,
mm-hmm.
buy our donuts, say something nice about us. And I don't even know why. I honestly, I feel very special to him, but you know what? I think he's that way with everybody.
Yeah, he's definitely he's got the biggest heart that I think you'll ever find. There's a picture in his office of, we were at an RV show one year, and he's got his shirt like 3/4 of the way over, and there's a little saying next to it that says the guy that will literally give you the shirt off his back. And that's how I grew up. At 96, I was 2 years old when he started the dealership. So I literally, from the time I could walk, got to watch him be the man that he is, and that led me to sort of emulate and say, that's the kind of person that I want to be when I grow up.
So let's talk about you. I want to ask you a few questions. So,
okay.
You got a great mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You're very eager to talk about your father. I've got the same legacy challenge. Like, how do you live up to that stuff? How do you do that? So I found out something very interesting about you, that you're adopted.
Yeah. So I I was adopted from South America, from a country called Paraguay, which not too many people can point that place out on the globe.
I know where it's at. I just can't spell it.
So they brought me home, and it's a real special feeling to know that I think whenever couples are expecting a baby and they have that baby, I think it's a very special thing. The only thing that I can say is even more special is I was a baby that was picked.
Wow.
To be picked is even more special. It holds a little bit more meaning to it, and I'm blessed, absolutely blessed, because I've traveled back to where I was from, and the comparison of what the lifestyle would have been like to what I am currently living right now is night and day. I'm blessed, Todd.
So you really went back? You went back?
Yeah, I went back when I was 15 years old, and I got to meet my birth mom, which was a really humbling experience.
So whose idea was that?
This was my mom's, and she went with me the whole time too.
Wow.
But just a small little snippet of the difference. We were staying at a hotel in Asuncion, which is the capital, and my older brother came to have breakfast with my mom and I that morning. And
you just met your older brother over there for the first time?
Yeah, and he came over and had breakfast with us. Now there's a buffet, and
wait, let's go back.
Right.
Was that the first time you ever saw this brother?
Yeah. Oh, I've seen pictures, but
what was it like when you first? We're going to talk a little business, but this is more interesting. So when you saw him for the first time at 15, how old was he?
He was 17, he was 19. He was a little bit older.
What did you do? What did you hug him? Did you high five him? Did you cry? I need to know this.
I think there was a solid fist bump, and then that led into a hug. But
did you look like him?
Very much.
Oh,
we look very similar. We both had different dads, but we definitely look both like our mom, just big, thick eyebrows like shrubs. Yeah, the best part is he knew I was coming down, so he actually dedicated a lot of time to learning English. Definitely more than I learned to dedicate to Spanish.
Just Paraguay talk, right?
Yeah, well, and it's mainly Spanish.
Okay.
If you can speak a little bit of Spanish, you can get pretty far down there.
So he spent some time learning English so he could communicate with his younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You size each other up? You hug each other? Do you see the hair? Do you see the bone cheeks? What do you do? I'm just finding it very interesting.
I think it's you're kind of in awe that you can be related to a person and not be around for 15 years.
Yeah.
And not speak pretty much the same language.
Yeah.
But you're in their presence, and you feel connected. There was definitely a connection there that I couldn't even really describe.
I'm just going to give a commercial for God. I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, there's no question that you walked in there and then you felt the kinship. So that's great. And so your mom, was it a satisfying meeting for her and everything she'd hoped to happen when you went over there?
It was. She didn't know any English. So when I met her at a restaurant with a translator. And of course, there's the long hug when you first meet somebody for the first time.
That's right. So you saw your mom and your brother at the same time.
Yep.
I missed that whole thing. So was that any more emotional meeting your mother than meeting your brother?
Well,
bio mom.
I can tell you this because my mom was there with me the whole time. But my
let's get this straight. So we got a biological mom that you went to meet that couldn't speak English. Mm-hmm. And then you had your mom, and her name was
Julia.
Julia went over there with you. And so a bio mom, and this is great. And your English speaking, your mom,
mm-hmm.
We're calling her your mom, right?
Yep.
And they met for the first time.
So my mom spent 6 months in the country waiting to pick me up. She actually went or 2 months. She went and lived in South America for 2
Right.
months, waiting to pick me up and take me home when I was first adopted. And my birth mom visited me every day. So they knew each other, generally speaking. So they've met. I never met her, but they met.
Well, you say, well, okay, this is supposed to be a business channel. Whatever. Here's what I want you to understand. I don't think we can explain the service model or the compassion model, or this is what I'm getting at, what I'm feeling here, or their commitment to you as a customer or their industry. I can't explain it. I can't tell it any better than to hear this story, right? So if you could package what you're talking about and say, this is our belief structure, this is how we are as human beings, and this is how berries roll, right?
Right.
That would be a market dominating position to me. And I asked you, and to be prepared with a market dominating position, and I really just, I'm in awe of the love and the care and that whole story. So, is there anything else you wanted to add with that? Because I wanted to make sure the listeners really, this is a really special man. I really want people to understand that.
I really think one thing that really set Barton Lake RV apart from most of the places that surround this is we have, kind of entered into an era where the corporate market has started to come in and buy pretty much anything that they've wanted. But when you go to Barton Lake RV, every person that walks through that door ends up being a member of our family. We see them come back in, and it's like they never left. It's like when Norm would come in the bar and everybody would, be elated that he came in.
Yeah.
And that's how you are when you walk into the dealership. Todd Saylor walks in the door, whether or not he's got my cream-filled lawn john. It's always Todd. So
it's true. And Cheryl is throwing things at me.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. Hopefully t-shirts, not
t-shirts.
out of the cannon.
No, she's great. She's great. So, that's exactly true. When I walk in there, they do know my name. They do greet me. They don't say, what do you want? More, you want money from us or something? No, they've been great. And so what's interesting, though, is you do have a considerable amount of repeat business because you have a service shop now, checkup, maintenance things, and then people are constantly trading in RVs. So tell us a little bit about this lineup of RVs that you have that separates you.
So we've been with Keystone RV for over 20 years, and they're manufactured in Goshen, which is only 40 minutes from us.
Right.
So getting product is a lot easier. Getting people's orders if they want to order something is a lot easier. Getting parts if they need service is a lot easier. So it's very convenient for the consumer when they come in to know they're going to be able to find something that's of good quality too. Keystone puts out a very good quality product. And we carry travel trailers, fifth wheels, and destination trailers. So we have a large variety for them to choose from.
So it's predominantly Keystone, right?
Yes.
So would you say how many models of Keystones do you have on your property? I know the one I looked at was awesome.
Yeah, we carry a couple of different brands. We carry Hideout, Bullet, Cougar, Retreat, and Hampton. And you got to experience what a Cougar travel trailer looked like, and that was pretty awesome.
I thought it was badass. I thought it was, for a small unit, the thing I liked the most about the Cougar was when I went in there and opened up the refrigerator, there was donuts in it.
Yeah, there was a box of Thomas donuts.
A box of Thomas donuts.
I don't think I wasted any time at that block party going and getting awesome. My donuts.
You guys got a lifetime pass. So anyways, it's got pop-outs. It's got, I don't know, it was really cool. And so as far as you have the big RVs there too?
Yeah, we have, I think the biggest RVs we carry are called the Hampton or Retreat. And they're 42 feet long. They stand at 13 and a half feet high. They're like houses on wheels. And it gives everybody the luxury of basically having a home away from home if they had a permanent site at the lake or had some property that they wanted to put it on.
So how long is it?
42 feet long.
How many square feet would that be when they have the pop-outs and everything?
The pop-outs and everything, you're looking at, close to 100 square feet when it's all said and done. I mean, it's a massive trailer.
You have a massive amount of knowledge in this industry.
It's all accredited to my dad and the dealership and soaking it up like a sponge.
Yeah, well, you must have a good. So he's answered every question I've had on RVs. Keystone is their line. They have a service side. They have. Now, here's one thing that I think that the listeners need to know, and I'm thinking you should use this as another market dominating position.
Okay.
I need 3 trailers on my front yard for 7 days for a party. Can I call you?
You can. And we deliver the trailers to you.
Can you
Everything's going to be set up. You bring your stuff, you put it in the trailer, and then when you're done, Todd, all you got to do is pack your stuff up, and we're going to come pick the trailer back.
I don't, so like not everybody wants to buy one.
No.
Or they want to try one out.
Exactly.
I know you're saying, oh, Todd, that's been done, blah, blah, blah. I know you can go out there and there's like these verbal RV deal, people, they buy them and then tell me why it's better. And I'm not trying to diss on anybody because I've had to do this for 3 years now. I fly all my kids in from Florida and we rent 3 of these trailers.
Yep.
I didn't know you did it. Dave, forgive me, but from now on, I know better, right? So I can do that with you. And I'm generally getting, is it a newer one? Is it a used one? Tell me about why I should use you versus some dude on the internet. I got 100 reasons, but I'm going to let you sell me. Because what's the note I got there for you? Sell.
Exactly. And it's on the product. So it's the same trailer. All 3 trailers are the exact same floor plan.
Okay.
And it's going to be a queen bed in the master with a private door that closes. So you actually have your own space. And then there's going to be a center living area, which will have a couch, TV, kitchen, basic creature comforts. And then there's going to be bunks in the back, which are double over doubles. So essentially 2 people could sleep per bunk. And then there's a decent sized bathroom with a shower, toilet, and sink that you need.
So it's a 30-footer. What is it?
Yeah, it's a 30-foot hideout 261 BH. So it's going to have a bump out on it.
Hang on. It's a 261 BH, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you know everything. All right, so I want to understand about the 261 BH for a second. So I call up and I need 3 of them.
Yeah.
Is there a certainty that I'm going to be able to get them, or is there a long waiting list? Or, I mean, do you have just these units that are sitting there waiting to be leased out, or do you rotate the inventory? Give me a little insight on that.
So right now we're being very selective with our rental process. We like to stay within the local area. Absolutely. Because limited staff, you want to be able to make the most use of their time. So most people rent at campgrounds. They want to go camping, but they don't have a camper.
Oh my gosh.
So what they'll do is they'll call up a campground and they say, hey, I need a site for 3 nights. And then they call Barton Lake RV and they say, hey, I got a site for 3 nights at so-and-so's campground. Can you come drop a trailer off?
But they do it for Jellystone too, right?
We do it for Jellystone as well. Jellystone is probably one of the campgrounds we rent to the most.
They're right next door.
Mm-hmm.
But like any Gordon, I mean, you anywhere in the area, if someone wants to camp, they don't have to go buy a camper.
Yeah.
We
hope that leads to buying.
Well, I was just going to say, how many conversions do you get out of something like that?
Quite a few, actually. There's people that say, hey, we rented from you 3 or 4 times, and we think it's time that we get one of our own.
And so then do you sell those as demos?
At the end of the year, we will. And that gives the consumer another good discount because, they were in a renting program.
Who put this together? Whose idea was this?
It's a Cheryl Schaefer.
Are you kidding me?
It was kind of a collaborative effort, but Cheryl definitely.
I didn't know. I asked
the brainchild for sure, and she had give her credit because she had young senior in high school Kyle Berry, just never been in the RV industry before. Helping her on the
partly
first
her idea, but
program.
you blew it up, right?
I can't take all credit. I can take a little smidge, just a little bit.
Well, I think it's brilliant, and from now on I'll be renting and buying, and I have never bought an RV, so I do think that's exciting. I think so. When we talk about your market dominating position, why don't you just we learn that together? Why don't you tie in the 3 things or so that we talked about that separate you from the rest of this RV rental purchase world?
Definitely being in close proximity to the product that we sell.
Yeah.
Definitely the family atmosphere and
2 right there. Nice.
And then I just got to say, we probably have a very diverse business. We're not just one singular piece. When it's sales, service, and rentals. Hardly do you ever go to a place and you get all three. You might get one of the three, but when you go to a place that has all three, it's even more convenient. And think about if you're camping at Yogi Bear, it's right next door.
Yeah. And I don't know if you said it exactly, but I love this rental piece that Cheryl and you put together. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a market dominating position all day long. But I got to tell you, for me, as we kind of wrap this show up, I said, I can't get past, I love your story. I mean, I just love your story. When I first met you at the block party, you shook my hand, and I knew I was meeting a genuine man, a genuine, authentic person. I knew there was something deep about you. I felt that. And now we're in here doing this show live, and I get it, man.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's a good experience.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought, our paths crossed again when you were a young kid delivering donuts out to Yogi Bear Jellystone Park, and I was waiting outside the door, watching him walk by with trays of donuts, going, "Hey, bring one of those over here, man." I
didn't know this story, but it's true. Your mom and dad called the donut shop in 1983, maybe 1982, something like that. I was a junior or senior in high school, and they said, "We want to sell your donuts at the campground." And I'm like, "Okay, let's do it."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "How many do you want?" I'm thinking 4 or 5 dozen. They go, "Well, we'll start with like 20 or something, 20 dozen." I'm like, "Okay." And I called my dad up and I said, Dad, Bart or Jellystone called and they want 20 dozen donuts. He goes, "What's the problem?" I go, "I don't know what to charge them." He says, "Well, do it this. I can't remember that side of the story, but we gave him a deal." So I drove him there, and we had a van called the Beater back then. And it was called a Beater because it was junk. And it was 3 on the column. And beater is a metaphorical, like the beater that goes around in a mixer, a beater, right? So it was a beater truck and a beater. Anyways, I put him in the back of the truck and I went out there and I delivered them. And there and behold, I was at this, I don't know if it was a startup, but it was a fresh Jellystone, and I was undoing the trays. And I didn't know you were in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because the donuts was a staple. Whenever people camped at Yogi Bear Jellystone Park, one thing that we asked, "Well, what did you guys look forward to?" And they would always say, "Well, on Sundays you guys had donuts from Todd."
Does Dave feel that way?
Yeah.
Is that why he's so nice to me? I mean, I just can't. I can't. I don't want to make this a Dave show. I love it being a Kyle show, but this guy, I don't get it. I don't deserve the blessings he's put on us and our business and the donut capital world and Tom Stone. So thank you, Dave. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for the crowd, the group you have working over there. I know there's been. I want to give you some final words, and then I'm going to take this out. Tell me why we got to come and see you at Barton Lake RV this weekend.
You got to come see us because we are in close proximity to the donut capital of the world, and we can tell you that we're going to treat you just like the family member that wants to come home more often than not because of the way that it makes them feel. I think one of the ways that my dad summed it up is he always said, we sell fun, and not everybody does that. So come to Barton Lake RV this weekend where we sell fun. We also rent trailers and have a service industry. So please come see us. Donut capital of the world. Todd, thank you for having me.
Well, we're going to see you all out there July 20th with the second block party bash. And we're going to have trailer park ninjas out there. We're going to have over 3,000 people again. You're going to have another RV out there. You're going to have the same Cougar. You're going to bring out another brand.
No, I think they're going to definitely
turn it up.
There's going to be a head turner this one.
I'm gonna make some more space for you.
Okay.
All right. Bring some T-shirts. We're gonna have the gun.
Oh.
Kyle's gonna be out there shooting guns with Stefan from Lawnsberry Garage. I'm gonna be up there, and we're not gonna try and hit that mom pretty hard.
Yeah. She
asked for it.
Ready. She said she was ready. She had her hands up, and it went through the hands.
I don't know. This guy's great. Get out to Barton Lake RV. Hey, this is Todd Saylor. What a blast. I love you guys. Get out to Barton Lake RV. Support this community staple in the Steuben County area. The greatest RV sales place in the world. Come on now.